Hello everyone! There are still a bunch of notable systems that we'd love to be able to run on our mini classics, from PlayStation 2 to 3DS, Mugen, and so on. But right here now, we're going to be crossing off another one from our checklist. And we're talking about Amiga CD32. I give huge and tremendous personal thanks to Sonos and RSN8887, who've done a tremendous job with the PUA core. And right here, you see this beautiful, glorious crystal jewel box art with Rob Schneider and Ernie Reyes Jr. I'm not sure exactly who the other actor is offhand, but hopefully he went on to better things. This is an action-adventure kids movie. Not the Goonies we were looking for, but still a fun game nonetheless. And we're going to be loading this up, obviously, with the work in progress, which is going to go out next update. And it is Amiga CD32 game, which is essentially an Amiga 1200 without the keyboard and mouse. And remember what I said, no keyboard and mouse. So the first thing we're going to need to do once we load the game is go into the options, quick menu, controls, and change it from the retro pad to the CD32 pad, so we actually are using it as a controller and not having the keyboard and mouse implementation. If you do not do this, you're going to end up having the keyboard and mouse type of configuration screw you up completely. So CD32, when you're playing CD32 games, as of the next update that is coming out. But this is interesting because this is actually based off of a kid movie, but it has violence in it, such as Mortal Kombat does, with like heart-ripping moves and stuff like that. When's the last time you played Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and you were able to gut punch and rip out just like a rabbit's heart? I mean, imagine that. And I find it very, very interesting that Bob Hoskins was initially not offered a role to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was Eddie Murphy first, and Eddie Murphy turned it down. I would have loved to see him do that instead of all the movies like Haunted Mansion and Adventures of Pluto Nash. I mean, but even he said that he watches those movies on a yearly basis for a laugh, which is hilarious. Kalima! I just ripped the heart out of this enemy. How funny is that? Look at that. Ripped the heart out of him twice. I need to watch you can rip the hearts out. So you start punching and you push down, you can rip the hearts out. Yes, there are a bunch of Mortal Kombat fatality style moves. It plays a little bit like a Double Dragon-esque River City Ransom, where you got to do a little bit of a fetch quest. And here we have a hot dog on the ground, which I'm going to save for later if I'm low on energy, because we have a limited number of lives. You can push like the circle button on your PlayStation Classic controller to enter certain areas. Remember that. And I'm doing kind of a little bit of an AI exploit right now. I'll explain why I'm doing this once we get to the point. Here, I'm going to go to the right here and see what this guy to the right says. Give me some boxes! Okay, let's do a fetch quest. We see a box right here. Down, push the button once, almost long enough to take a dookie. And I'm jumping like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You'll see why when I play the game a bit more. Because there's a little bit of an AI exploit, which I've showcased in other games like Double Dragon, playable, and so on, where they're literally meant to be where you're on the same plane, they'll start attacking you. But if you're not on the same plane with them, they're not going to attack you. It's funny. Okay, let's go to the right here. Oh, I forgot something, because I remember the other fetch quest I had to do. We saw something on the ground over here. And not all these Amiga CD32 games are going to have music in them. Just remember that. Some of these are kind of probably rushed out to try to get out before Christmas and such. But this is still a fun game to play nonetheless. It's so bad it's good. I'd love to do a Q&A with one of the developers or more who have ever worked on this. We got this magazine here, and we're going to the Imperial Palace there. And there's another box. Yay! Let's go to the right here. I've got mail. Yay! Never gets old. We got a copy of Euro Soccer. He says he's going to be off in a minute here. Yes, he's actually an obstacle in our pathway. But once we leave and come back, he will no longer be there. But we have another box over here. Bam. And speaking of Eddie Murphy, I love that he's doing a comeback. He's going to do another Coming to America movie. He was just on Saturday Night Live, which I need to watch. I've heard it is absolutely aesthetically funny. And he has a chance to be Best Actor for an Dolomite movie, which I still need to watch. I really need to watch that. Okay, and there are other moves you can do. Like, you can literally take out a knife and have guts poured everywhere, like Caligula style. It is ridiculous. But I find this a pretty thoroughly fun game, and I'm going to give it more of a shot. I mean, I love my bad games just as much as my good games. Here, I have energy there. It is kind of weird not having the music on this game, because if I play my next game, for instance, I'm going to have music in it. And we're going to start out with one that many people consider one of the absolute best Amiga games. We're going to do Cannon Fodder. And look at this glorious artwork here. And this is definitely the definitive version of this game, in my personal opinion. Just watch. It is seamless on here. It even has some nifty intro music. And I have to tell you guys and gals right from the get-go, I have never played Cannon Fodder in my life. There's a point when I literally just loved action games and didn't play RPGs or strategy games, but I moved on to playing some of these, such as Command and Conquer and so on. But people keep telling me about Cannon Fodder, so I'm going to have to give it a chance. This game is not in any way endorsed by the Royal British Legion. And the other thing I'm noticing that a lot of the music in these games sound a lot like real music. Like, listen to this. That is so interesting. Sounds like real music going on there. And I gotta change my controller again. CD32, because I had the buttons for the normal Amiga implementation playing there. And some of these games have music that really, really borders on copyright infringement. I'm gonna show you what I mean here. This is such a well done game, and I really need to play this. I mean, I'm gonna be giving this a shot after I do this video. And if any of you who have played this before know much about the game, give me a few tips as far as getting into the game. Because this is literally the first time I've ever played this game, ever. I'm not kidding, I've never played this. I think I loaded it up on the other system that it had before, and saw it was a strategy style game, and I just stopped playing it. Okay? I'm trying to figure this out, guys and gals. Okay. Push the arrow and... Okay. I'll get used to this. We shoot the birds? Okay, I didn't make this as a damn cool game. Very, very addictive from the get-go, and it took me just a few seconds to get used to this. It is fun, because yes, there are a lot of games that people have told me about that I've never played. I mean, even up to 2009, I never played Symphony of the Night Castlevania because I was not a fan of non-linear games, but once I did that, I played all Castlevania games in succession. But yes, Cannon Fodder is definitely addictive. I'm seeing it already here. Mission 2, Onward Virgin Soldiers. We'll do one more mission here and see if I can get used to this. But I'm loving the incorporation of this via controller instead of having to worry about a keyboard or mouse. It is awesome. They've done a tremendous job here. I kind of wish the system would have made it to the United States because, like the CDI, another failed system, and the 3DO, another failed system, this has some really, truly incredible games. The Street Fighter 2 port on this is absolutely amazing. I mean, they did a great job with the Street Fighter port. Can we shoot these birds? Is they like a little Easter egg here? I'm not sure. But yeah, actually, cool as hell game. See where we can go here. Kind of like a real, real-time based strategy game. Find where these other enemies are. And I'm sure as the game goes, progresses on, it gets much more complicated, which would make the game really fun, strategically. There we go, we got somebody in the water there. This is so damn cool, I'm loving this. It's definitely going to be one of my other games that I play here. And there are some really cool exclusive games on here too. I'll show you a few of those in this video. Okay. But yes, Cannon Fodder is awesome, I'm definitely taking it. I'm going to go with low content Star Trek 3, Dummy, and let's load a game that actually has music in it. Some really, really cool music. Go back to the folder here. What do we have here? There are so many great ones to choose from, in my opinion, here. We're going to do Super Stardust. Which I just pushed the back button on. Super Stardust. Look at that artwork. And for some of you who've had PlayStation 4, we've had Stardust on PlayStation 4 as well. But this is actually a truly, truly addictive shmup game. Which came out later on obviously, PS4 in a newer version. Great soundtrack, very addictive, asteroid-style gameplay. But Cannon Fodder, you have me hooked. I'm going to be playing you Christmas Day. In a distant galaxy a long, long time ago. Okay, let's get into our non-Star Wars control options here. CD32 bad, resume. And the music here sounds like KMFDM. Just wait till you hear the gameplay. Get into the game here. And initially the system was tough to run. It was actually running about as slow as you boost, but I've done a lot of recompiling and tweaking and got it running at a base level where it's actually adequate on the PlayStation Classic. I'm going to do what I can to have this run on the Mega Drive Mini and SNES Classics as well. Okay? And listen to the KMFDM style music here. This is KMFDM style. I'm loving it. That literally sounds identical to some of the 1990s 1990s came after the music. Oh yeah. Quite addictive, and you can actually do a little bit of upgrades and such too. It gets much more difficult as you go throughout the levels. And even the worst CD-based games, I mean, I'm not talking about this game, this is one of the good ones, but even the worst ones have good music. I mean, I haven't found any CD-based games that have bad music. I mean, on any of the systems I play, from Sega CD to CDI to 3DO, they all have their fun music. I find it odd that the system that did much better, which was a more enduring system overall, the PlayStation, is a system that actually had soundtracks that were kind of inadequate at times. So this is very addictive. I can definitely see myself playing this and trying to get as far as I can in it, through the campaign or whatever it has, you will. Okay, we're going to play that again. But now you're going to see something very, very funny. And when I talked about basically encroaching on, of course, and I'm using that word out of context there, basically, because that's a sports concept, but I like the word enough to use it. We're going to be playing this game called Guardian, which is Star Fox style game, but there's something that I noticed right from the get-go when I played this, and you ready for this, guys and gals? This is going to actually just blow your mind completely here. And it is very, very funny when I start playing this. I mean, I just can't get over how funny this is. But yes, it is a Star Fox inspired game, and just thinking about what I'm about to show you just makes me laugh uncontrollably. Because I have this thing with my autistic nature, my Asperger's. Whenever I hear a music in a game, I can pretty much determine that some of them are based off of real songs. Like, even back in the day, playing Ninja Gaiden, there's a stage that actually has music from an old metal song, and there's a song that's in, like, Mario World that is actually from a band called Death Angel. It's very, very funny stuff, but I did a video of that. I'm going to link it in the description to show you exactly what I'm talking about so you're not getting confused here, but I'm going to controls here. And are you ready for some funny antics here? Just watch this. And I still can't get over this. The game started out fine here, like pretty normal music. But watch what happens when I start the game. Listen carefully to this music, everybody. Are you ready for this? If you're not seeing it, I'm going to show you right here now. Wanted. Needed. Waiting. For you to justify my love. Got it now? It sounds like friggin' Madonna. That just blows my mind. And this is not the only game that I played on Amiga CD32 that did this. I'm playing the Cotton stage in the Street Fighter 2 game, and it sounds exactly like Mighty Wings by Cheap Trick from the Top Gun soundtrack. And these are just funny that I don't know if they did this intentionally or if they're just doing a tribute to these songs, but it just blew my mind when I did that. Okay, what else do we have here? And we have this game called Black Viper, which is a racing game, and I just love the music for this game. Very, very cool game. We're going to try this for a brief moment here. Now, the game is called Black Viper, but in my opinion, I'm going to be calling it Street Hawk, like the TV show with a souped-up vehicle, Knight Rider style, of which many 80s and early 90s shows were at the time, because Knight Rider was such a tremendous success in the 80s, and just set off a bunch of other shows that just had to have souped-up vehicles as well, like Airwolf and so on. Great game, though, and I'm loving the soundtrack to this. And of the CD games that have the soundtracks, I've just absolutely thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of them. I have not found one that I did not love yet. Even the one with the Madonna song is still cool. And I'm going to be playing Guardian some more. But I'm going to show you this game, and then the game I show you after this has a really mind-blowing soundtrack, which really stood out, and it just stuck in my head after playing it. Just like the Guardian Madonna Justify My Love song. And again, I'm going to link to a video which shows some other examples of other previous video games, which I pretty much determined were in video games too. Real life music to video game type of thing. Vice versa. And a lot of them came out roughly around the same time, which is very, very coincidental. Yes, it is almost like Hang On style, but I have my Street Hawk style gun. And I'm loving that these racing games are playing so seamless on here. I'm definitely going to have to get some fighting games into my next video lineup. There are a good half dozen plus racing games that are up worthy playing here. Very cool game. Oh yes, Street Hawk style. And I shot the innocent accidentally. Look how smooth and seamless this is playing. This is great. But yes, that is a fun game. Black Viper, aka Street Hawk, in my opinion. Because sometimes you play a game that doesn't really have the license. And I'll show you what I mean here. Because this next game, it thoroughly reminds me of Rambo. Let's see if I can remember the name of it here. Because I've never played this game previous to this video. It's called Fire Force. Right there. And you remember Rambo on the original NES? The game kind of reminds me of Rambo on the original NES, but you can do violence like throat slashes and stuff like that, which is kind of strange. Okay, quick menu controls. And we all know, like, Journey to Silius on NES is obviously a Terminator game without the license. I mean, there are many, many other notable examples in history for video games, which were made with a predefined license in mind, but then they weren't able to maintain the license, and then they released it without the license. That's kind of a good thing, because it is much easier to have a game like Journey to Silius show up on a virtual network than a Terminator game, which we'd have to worry about getting the license for. But in my opinion, the character in this game is a lot like Rambo. This might be considered a Rambo game in my opinion. Let's see if I can actually start this game there. There we go. Okay, begin mission. Yes, you can go to your armory and do your roster and all that. I'm just going to begin mission as is here. See, it reminds me of Rambo. This is so Rambo in my opinion. That doesn't look anything like Rambo. Watch what happens when you get close to people. It is so cool. Slash! If that's not violence, I don't know what is. I don't think I've seen any other game where you can actually go up and throat slash people like that. Maybe Manhunt? Literally, I cannot think of a game offhand where you do that. We do have our chainsaw move and obviously Gears of War, but this is like NES Rambo with violence. Look at that. It's so much like NES Rambo. And I think there's the multi-pass as well. But yes, I'm going to be playing some more Fire Force, which is not as easy to remember because it is a lesser-known title. But I still find it fun that you can have that type of violence in the game. What else do we have? Oh, we have the Disposable Hero and the Incredible Shmup. And this is very, very cool because the normal Amiga version is hard. Only the hardcore purists of Shmup games are even going to get past the first level. If you're going to play Disposable Hero, definitely play the CD32 version because it is at an easier difficulty than the normal Amiga version. The normal Amiga version is as hard as R-Type, but here it is more forgiven for the people who are not as in-depth with their, or attuned to their Shmup games. And I love that you have Turbo Fire automatic here, so it's going to be a lot easier to get to the game. You'll see what I mean when I start playing here. It has another KMFDM style inspired soundtrack in my opinion too. Okay. KMFDM style again. We got Stardust and this game, Disposable Hero, both have KMFDM style soundtracks. See if I can get to the first stage here, hopefully. Again, this is way easier than the Amiga version. Not like a pushover challenge, but still a lot easier. I'm hoping I can get at least to the first mini-boss at their first stage here. Definitely one of the best games, right up there with Amiga in my opinion. Yes, Amiga is a haven for shmups. I mean, floppy disk wise as well as CD32 wise. I'll definitely showcase more racing and shmup games because they are two of my absolute favorite genres of all. Energy! Keep getting those energy orbs and you have a chance to make it to the stage. And you don't always know what you can crash into. I mean, there's a little bit of a caveat to some shmups. I mean, you never know exactly what you can crash into, what you can't. It just is the way it is at times. But you'll know the first time it happens to be careful the next time. I'm hoping I can get to the first mini-boss here, or the entire first level boss. Great jazz style soundtrack there. We got a little A.T. Walker style Star Wars there. I need more energy! More input! Oh no. Great soundtrack. That didn't take much. I remember it being a little bit more difficult in the Amiga version. I'd have to say if I could pick like one of my favorite shmups of all time, it'd definitely be R-Type, and then probably right after that would be Einhander. Einhander is untouchable. This is what I consider like a Blade Runner style shmup. Oh no! Can I get through here? I'm just gonna run it. Please be something I can use. Oh yeah. That's kind of nice. I'm at an altitude where he can't hurt me at all. That worked out well for me. I think I made it to the first boss there. And it is much more difficult to make it in the Amiga version. I'm not kidding there. Nope. The music just reset there. Oh, jeez. Well, let's see if I can do this a second time. Watch out for that blast. Might be able to get it the second time here. Just make sure he doesn't do that blast on me. Stay out of his path. Go for the arms here. I just gotta worry about his charge blast. Third time's the charm, everybody. Third time's the charm. Go for the top arm, go for the bottom arm, and then watch for the charge blast. I got this. Let him shoot, then move down. Shoot, move, shoot, dodge, shoot, dodge. Oh no, don't come closer to me, don't screw me. Oh, look at that, he just moved out of my way anyway. But in this game, I'm definitely going to be playing it some more, and yes, I love these type of games. Shmup games are incredibly awesome. Let's see what else we got here. Amiga CD32, and let's do Brutal Football for a brief moment. Very, very cool game on the other systems, but right here with the guitar soundtrack, Steve Vai, Emi Zalheim, and Joe Satriani style, it works for me. We're going to go into the controls again. CD32, quick menu resume. And if there are any other CD32 games that any of you who have ever played the system, or even Amiga games that happen to be on CD32, feel free to request them and I'll play them in this video. Okay, let's try this for a brief moment, and I'm really loving the music in this game. You'll see once I start playing how cool the music is. We should have time for at least one or two more games. But hope you're enjoying the video, and again, this will go out probably roughly New Year's time with the next update. Brutal Sports Football. But yes, I really absolutely love the music in this game. I'm loving the music in all of these games thus far. Okay. And here we go, liftoff. That is cool music. I'm gonna suck at this game so bad. It's so fast paced, it's ridiculous. That music is so awesome. Oh no, I'm gonna make it. Ah! That is so cool having a real guitar there. Works for me. And yes, the computer opponent is not so easy to take down. Keep intercepting me there. So I essentially got to get the ball and then throw it to the hole on the other side. So it's like football, soccer. Oh! I'm not even going to score at all. I suck that bad in this game. I'm going to come back and play it though, but loving the guitar music. So fast-paced and furious, it is just incredibly cool. What else do we not play yet? Did we do... No, we didn't do Dragonstone yet. We'll play Dragonstone for a moment here. And you'll love Dragonstone if you like your games like Zelda and Legends, that I showed in my last Amiga video for the PlayStation Classic. Controls. CD32 pad. Resume. It is an overhead Zelda-esque inspired game. We should have at least one more game, because we all know that I like... look, Core Design made this. And do you know what Core Design went on to make later on? Think. I'm not even going to tell you the answer. I want to see which one of you can guess in the comments who else Core Design went on to make later on. They went on to much bigger things, and let's see if any of you know offhand that little Easter egg there of what I'm referring to. We'll just let it be AA. Who cares? Okay. That even sounded like Zelda style music in the beginning there. And I finally cracked open my Bloodstained game, the Castlevania game on PlayStation 4, and I'll probably showcase that in the video. I played it only for a few seconds, but I'm definitely going to be showing it in the video because it is a damn cool game. There we go, we got another overhead Zelda-style game. Awesome stuff. Very, very happy with this. Kind of reminds me of like Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. Not bad. I love these style games, and Nitopia is another series that is like this that I love. And the one I like the best is 3D Game Heroes. That is my favorite of all these type of games. That is untouchable. Made by the same makers who did Dark Souls. From Forward Software. A cool game, a lot like Zelda. And again, that was the Dragonstone. What else do we have? Got a few more in the lineup here. Bam, 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 bam. And remember I was talking about the games that have some of the best soundtracks of all. This right here probably has like the best soundtrack that I played out of all of them right here. Fury of the Furies, and it is not a risque style game. It is actually just a coincidental title here. But it would be funny if it was that. Okay, let's listen to this incredible soundtrack, and yes, this is a truly amazing soundtrack. And even though the system failed, I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. I found every game I played very, very fun. I played this for a few hours when I was testing yesterday. And again, the biggest awesomeness here is the fact that we're actually able to play a nice port of Street Fighter 2 with a full CD soundtrack, on which we cannot do on CDI or 3DO. But listen to this awesome soundtrack here when I start. I'd love to know who composed this music, because whatever else they did, I have a feeling it's just as damn good as this. Such a great soundtrack. And yes, I'm loving the fact that the music is not restarting. Because when you play a game like this or a Apidia and you die, you want to hear the music in its entirety. Some of the other games I showcased in this video, where you die, you literally have to start the soundtrack over again, which can get a little bit irritated not hearing the whole soundtrack. Did I put it in CD32? Let's see there. Controls, quick menu controls. I might not have changed it. That might have been why. Yep, that's why I was having trouble controlling it. There we go. I'm like, why can't I control the game? Awesome soundtrack. Kind of reminds me of Euphoria, the NES game which Sunsoft made, which was never released in the United States. I mean, come on, Sunsoft. You should have been released in the United States. But loving the soundtrack here. Very, very cool stuff. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a combination of Euphoria and Putty Squad. And I've only briefly played this, so I'm not really sure exactly what I have to do to beat the game. But I'm going to be coming back to it because I love the soundtrack. Seems like a fun game overall to boot. Maybe it's just like gotta get to point A to point B type of game within a time limit. I'm sure many of you who play this game. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of a challenge there. Crumbling pathways. Blocks that could fall on me. Yeah, it's just a point A to point B game. Kind of like the N++ game. That works for me. I'm loving N++ games. So Euphoria and a little bit of N++. Working for me. Okay, what else do we have here? Low content soundtrack dummy. Amiga CD32. And I think we went through quite a few of these games already. We should be able to do one more here. We'll do Deep Core. Nice, solid, very solid action game. This is definitely a very solid game. The type of game I'd almost expect to be on the TurboGrafx 16 or TurboGrafx CD. I mean, it's that type of game. You'll see what I mean in a moment here. Make sure I set the controls right. Yep. Can't forget to set the controls. You gotta do that with a few other cores as well, like the original Yabu's core and Atari 5200 core, which is the Atari 800. Just don't forget that. On some of them trickier cores, you gotta have the proper controller configuration. Let's see what this is all about for a moment here. Feels like I'm playing like Bane in the Metroid style game here. What's up there? What happened? Okay. And I've done enough of these piston type things to be able to get through them in games. These don't faze me. Okay. Definitely a cool game. I believe you can actually upgrade your character and stuff. Oh, okay, we don't want that to happen. See how far I have to go back here. Let's not let that happen this time. There we go. I do have an oxygen level 2. Appears we might be at a dead end here. Nope, that was the door I could open. Oh no, my energy is so low again. I need more energy. No! Ah! Come on. So it does have a little bit of a challenge factor to it, but I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this game. Maybe we need better upgrades and weapons here. I'll do the run and gun style gameplay. Okay, we're doing a little bit better now. Get that power up there. Okay, we can actually jump in this game better than we can in TMNT for the original NES, so I'm not complaining there. A lot of these games do have the up for your jump button, just remember that. But you can obviously go into controls and change those. Oh no, we got a Metroidvania style character up there. It looks like a Metroid. But yes, this is Deep Core, and we got one more game. That's it, just one last game. We're gonna do Myth. Right here, Myth, History in the Making. Our final game. And hope you enjoyed the video, guys and gals. And out of the half-dozen games that I chose to play a little bit more after this video, this is definitely one of them. Along with Cannon Fodder, I thank all of you for recommending Cannon Fodder to me. I should have gotten to it sooner. But this is a pretty interesting game. It kind of reminds me of like a better version of Conan. That really, really bad NES game, but it is what it is. CD32. Okay. And you kind of start out with just a punch until you get some of the magic abilities. And again, the CD32 system is very, very hard to emulate. It is basically at the same level CPU intensive wise as AGA, aka 1200 Amiga games, of which we all know cannot run well on the mini classics. But I did what I could to get this more optimized and running. And it is running so much better than my initial test phase where the games are running in slow motion and pretty much at a snail's pace like the original Yabu's Sega Saturn core. And yes, you actually hold towards the enemies to attack them, like many of these games. Like these sound effects in the background there. Oh yeah! It's like a shotgun blast with magic. That is hilarious. Yes, this is so much like a Conan style game. Ah! Okay, I didn't die. That was pretty funny though. Play Conan for NES and you'll see what I mean. This reminds me of that so much. Did I make that jump? Oh no! I'm actually gonna load that real quick just because it's reminded me of that so much. I'm gonna go to NES here. I should have Conan in my lineup here. We gotta see it for a brief moment. NES. You go to Conan. It just strikes me as a Conan style game, and I'm gonna play it for a moment just to compare. Get Conan. There we go. And we'll do the FCMM core. Right there. And let's see what this is like. It's like Mindscape. Such a great look. It reminds me of this is so much like Myth. Did some of the developers for Myth actually work on this game initially and just did a better job second time around? Look at that. It even looks like the exact same partner from Myth. So Conan and Myth are pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, the same game. How'd that happen? That is actually ridiculous. That is so weird. I really need to know if somebody from the original Conan game worked on Myth. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys and gals, and there'll be more to come.